without really moving. So one thing that I did in order to do that was like philosophy, like using philosophy of thought. And that's why I love all these different ideas, because you can like kind of journey without like leaving your bed.
Yeah, that's very true.
But then, what I realized is that when I was staying in one place and paying attention to like a smaller surrounding, there's like so much depth to things that I never paid any attention to.
But then why would you, if there's so much depth in so many things, why would you restrict yourself to a small room? Like now that you're better, doesn't it make sense to go out and just find the depth in everything? Yeah,
so I do that, but
it's exhausting. Or it's not
possible. No, but it just doesn't come.
Oh, you can only do it in a small space, you think?
Well, I just feel that we're kind of, as beings, we get, and I think because we live in a society which is so fixated on the tangible rather than the intangible, we don't notice things. We don't notice the kind of the unknown. And even though, and what tortures me is that I've noticed it, I've seen it,
and now you can't
I've
see
been
it.
I've been kind of in love with it, and then I'm still attracted to the horizontal way of living. But then I'm like, why am I not living in that intangible? Why don't I?
But is it possible to live in that intangible when you're well?
Yeah. Well, I think you can. There's loads of people who are like, you know, monks and all that sort of stuff live in that kind of very basic, repetitious lifestyle.
Yeah, but then that kind of goes against what you were saying about living a very full life. Or is that when you felt like... So you felt like that's when your life was most full? When you were finding the depth in like the little things?
Yeah. But I think maybe a gravity, maybe it's just I'm just scared or like disinterested in banality, and I want everything to be like ecstatic. And if it's not ecstatic, it needs to be...
Yeah, but wait, we're the same in that regard.
Theatrical.
We're both disinterested in banality, but we both react to that in different ways.
But I think you have a much higher tolerance for it than me.
Yeah, but that's maybe...
Like you'll find, Yeah,
but that's maybe because I'm more functioning in society than you, right? Like I have a job, and I'm not an artist. Like I have a 9 to 5, right?
Yeah, well, so do I. It's just...
we both have 9 to 5s, but in terms...
Really, it's not 9 to 5.
Yeah.
It's more like 12 to 1.
Yeah. The lunch hour.
The lunch hour.
Yeah, okay, you're right. Just because I have a tolerance for it doesn't mean I enjoy it, though. I just have a higher tolerance for banality.
But so I think I've just also decided at some point I know what makes me happy, what I want in my life, and I just don't feel like I have
time for anything else,
or can be bothered. But I've also become...
But that's quite natural. But then that hasn't led to you...
everybody.
Yeah, but that hasn't led to you becoming, a dick. Because normally when people are like that, it leads to them, cutting people out of their lives and things like that. But I don't think you've really done that.
No. I mean, I don't think you need to be a dick. It's just that, when you realize you like Chinese food...
Do you what? Should I order some Chinese food?
No, I can't eat Chinese food.
You don't even like kung pao chicken?
No, I'm allergic to all of it. There's too much MSG in it. But, no, I think that when you...
It's definitely a podcast about Chinese food.
Yeah, it's definitely...
Not about truth.
Yeah. When you realise you like Chinese food, then you should go to a Chinese restaurant.
But that's quite interesting that I don't value truth at all. Not in the same way that you do.
Yeah.
Like, even when we're telling stories, I'm much happier embellishing the story than providing a true representation of what happened.
Yeah, but why? Because you just want the theatre.
Well, I just want the theatre, yeah. I want the theatre of it.
But see, for me, a good story has truth in it.
No, but there's obviously still truth in it, like a myth. There's still truth in the myth, but it's just been embellished to a level to give it a grandiose sort of structure and bring about grandiose...
But let's say, like, something actually happens to you. So, like, a myth is a kind of, it's a metaphor that uses the archetypes to mimic some kind of truth of reality.
Yeah.
But what you're doing is just taking something true that happened and just changing the details.
No, but the fabric is still the same. It's just maybe some bits have been embellished.
Yeah, but...
Just to give the story a bit more gravitas. Or like a bit more... Just evoke a few more emotions.
But I feel like the things that you change in a story don't really change the essence of the story. They just make it shinier.
Yeah, but that's exactly what I'm doing, right?
Yeah.
And that's maybe my aversion to truth, because maybe truth isn't shiny. But whereas when I add a little bit of like glitter to it, it makes it shinier.
But maybe that's because you're scared. Maybe you're scared to.
But that's
somebody,
what I think. But we do
that's
that.
That's intimacy. That's the intimacy is scared. Because
but we do that with emotions, right? If I tell you I love you, it's better than just saying, you know, I enjoy spending time with you.
Yeah, but I think a lot of people do this unconsciously.
Yeah,
but you do it very consciously.
Yeah, I do it consciously. Yeah,
but I still don't get why. Like I don't. Well, yeah, you say like to embellish, but you've told me beautiful stories before.
No, they're all true.
Yeah. But then you've told me the story that you've told somebody else,
and that I've added so much to it.
Or even the pool thing.
Oh yeah, that's the butterfly story.
My butterfly story. I've told you that story. You know what that was, and you just changed all the details.
I just made it a really beautiful story.
But the thing is, what was so beautiful about that story was not really like your story is a better story than mine. The narrative is better.
Yeah, but it's changed the beauty of this. It's changed what made the story beautiful.
Yeah, because the whole fabric of that story was the things that he said. It was all like this beautiful dialogious interaction. And without the dialogue, the story wasn't that beautiful.
But I was trying to
you made it into a beautiful thing that had nothing to do with the story. It doesn't it doesn't abide by the essence.
Yeah, but the point of that story, the story that I created, is because I wanted to evoke this emotion where, you know, because I use it on dates, right?
Yeah, to manipulate people.
No, not to manipulate. I use it. The point of the story is that I want to tell people that they need to have more interests than just me. If they're going to be in a relationship with me, there has to be more interests than just me. I don't want a relationship where it's just the two of us and we're like joined at the hip. We have to have our own friends, our own things.
Okay, so if you've ever been on a date with Shy, can you message us in to say if. And he's told you this story, if that's what your takeaway was. Because I've never got that as a takeaway from you.
You never got that as a takeaway. That's the point of the story.
I should be interested in things other than you.
Yes. Yeah, because that goes with my theory of like non-attachment and stuff.
I thought it's more like, you know, I have really good stories, you should be interested in me.
I never thought about it that way. No, but also, like, in a story trade-off, I'm always willing, I want to hear other people's stories. Like, I've heard my stories enough times, right? I don't care about these.
Yeah, you do have amazing stories as well.
Yeah.
So I think, but maybe you're just like this amazing storyteller who just distorts. But most good stories are distortions of the truth anyway.
Yeah.
Well, they have like they resemble some truth, but they're like, you know, fictionalized. Right?
Yeah, exactly. But then the problem is that, you know, maybe I'm becoming too much of a storyteller and I'm becoming addicted to making the truth shiny. So maybe that's why I don't value truth anymore.
Okay, so maybe we are actually on... Yeah, because I feel like I do this as well.
Yeah, because I don't value truth anymore because every story is slightly embellished or everything is slightly shinier. Yeah.
But what I actually realized the other day is that this is... Because I feel like I've done this a few times, and because I'm so obsessed with this notion of poetry and theatre, of like this...
So that's really interesting that you're so obsessed with truth, but also, you know...
Yeah. But I think that's because I want that intense reality, that deep sort of... so it's not truth, it's to do with that deep experience where I feel like I've really lived in this world, right? Yeah. But what I realized that is if we're making
you didn't feel like that way before when you were living the chaotic lifestyle?
No, I did, but much more in a sort of FOMO kind of way, like in a much more
plebeian way.
Yeah, just that I want to taste all the dishes.
Yeah, I want to eat all of this. Yeah.
Not like Yeah. Not swirl the campara in my mouth.
Oh, so that's amazing. Maybe you should just eat the same dish.
So I used to just really get in depth. Sometimes I go through a phase where I'm like, I'm missing the point. So I just eat rice every day for a week. Just a bowl of rice.
And then what happens?
Huh? Well, then I become intolerant to rice.
Then you have
just like you're eating too much rice.
That's the perfect analogy, right? So if you just find the depth in one thing, you become intolerant to it. Yeah,
but there's not, like, the thing is our life is so varied, regardless of how much we... There's so much going on, especially if we live in London or whatever. You're never going to get to a point where there's, like, too much. There's still so much variety. Like, in this moment, there's so much going on. And if we paid enough depth to, like, all of it, we'd just, like, explode.
Yeah, that's true. But that's what you're trying to do, right? Or are you just trying to find something in that moment that you can stick to?
No, because that's not true, because it's fixating on something. It's like, it's about connecting to the things that are around you, whether it's, you know, Kung Pao chicken or not?
Oh my god.
I feel like... Okay, I think if there's like a Chinese restaurant that wants to sponsor us with amazing Kung Pao chicken, I think we've earned it.
But Chinese restaurants, Karl Marx, communism, like...
Yeah, it's maybe too much. Maybe.
Too much, yeah. People will think that we are actually a communist
also,
podcast.
I really don't like Chinese food.
Because I haven't even mentioned Chinese food recently.
Well, maybe that's the
Why
problem.
is it on your mind?
Well, I had Chinese food for the first time.
Oh, you had Chinese food for the first time? What, earlier? Did you have Kung Pao chicken?
No. I just had rice.
You just had... Oh, just Chinese rice?
Yeah.
What made it Chinese?
It was in a Chinese restaurant. And I was with my grandma, and she's like, what is this? And I was like, rice. And she's like, hale. I don't want it.
I don't... Did she eat anything?
Huh?
Did she have anything to eat?
Yeah, what did she call China glass?
China glass.
She called it China glass. It was just ice cream.
That Chinese restaurant must have thought you were bananas.
Yeah.
So actually, okay, fine. So is there truth in the statement that you don't like Chinese food?
No.
Is that true?
That's nonsense.
That's nonsense.
Yeah, because that means like at one moment I didn't like the food that I was given, which happened to be Chinese. It doesn't mean I don't like Chinese food.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, and I think people get too identified with this sort of thing. They go to a Chinese restaurant, they eat some rice, and they're like...
this is another reason why I don't value truth. Because it's only true in that one moment.
No, but this is what I'm talking about. It's not about truth. This, like... Yeah, okay, fine. But so then maybe we're on the same page, because I'm saying that...
Can't be on you spent this whole podcast saying that we're on different pages.
No, because I'm on the... Because I believe in... I want truth, but I also believe that truth is not assertable.
Truth is not assertable.
Or not like kind of rationalistically assertable. We can't say some categoric kind of...
Truth,
yeah, about something. I think a poem represents truth in many ways because it sort of transcends the kind of... the concretion of language. Right? So it goes to something beyond. The poetry deals with the ineffable, just the being of life. And I think, like, if we connect to the being of life, then there's truth in that. I think that's what relationships are. And so, like, it's not about... I mean, being honest, right, allows you to connect to something which is true in the person, but it's not really about the things that you're saying to each other. It's about the sort of connection that you're having with each other.
So that's the other thing. That's the other reason why I don't value honesty or truth. Because it's just words. Like, I'm much more willing to just show my emotions and like my actions show how I feel about you. Okay,
so fine. Then are you happy to express your emotions truly?
Yeah, I am, yeah.
So it's only an issue with language?
Yeah, but I also think that's because I haven't got to a stage where I can control my emotions.
But would you like to? I think you're quite in control of your emotions.
I know, I'm in quite in control of my emotions, but when I really, really feel something... like, you know, anger or like really intense passion or something, I can't control it.
Really? I've never seen you in this state.
Well, I mean, anger doesn't really come, but like this intensely passionate thing, like I can't control it.
Would you want to?
It's like it would be amazing to have total control over my emotions and words. That would be incredible.
Just because it's practical?
Not so much because it's practical, but I think that level of power over yourself is it's amazing. Like, I don't know anyone that is capable of doing that.
Yeah. Okay. But you want that power just for the power.
For the power. I don't think it would actually serve any... Well, it would probably just lead to me manipulating people.
Well, I think a lot of people would like to, if they could have true power over their sadness, like not feel sadness.
Exactly. Right?
People would want that, right?
Yeah, it would be amazing.
But the sort of, I guess, like what people say, or the prevalent theory is that you don't have power over your sadness, you just suppress it, right? So you just figure a way to either explore it and deal with it, show it, explain it, or you just push it under.
Yeah.
But you're talking about
I'm not talking about suppressing it, I'm talking about an actual ability for it not to be conveyed on my face and then feeling sad.
Yeah, but that is a form of suppression, right? Like, I think I can do that pretty well. I just kind of given up on it a bit more recently because I feel it's more honest and true. So what I was saying before is what I realized. Like, I've always lived this very like narrative, poetic reality where I'm trying to get to this grand.
Yeah.
But what I've realized is that actually, if you try to create a a kind of hologram or a narrative in order to feel deeply within the world, then it's actually the most pessimistic way of living.
It is.
Because